everybody. Here is Harper when she was a little baby. I'm going to show you that color splash technique that everybody was really excited about. And turns out it's super, super simple. So here is an example that I did just to figure out some things. And obviously you see like this is a campfire and I got the fire to kind of go. I want to show you over here exactly what we're going to be doing. We're making a duplicate layer, okay? We're turning the top layer gray, right? Then we're adding a layer mask and we're painting where we want to see the color through. So basically what the black does whenever we paint on top of this image, what that does is it just basically takes away the top. Like if I took away that lower mask, you can see all of the places that I painted in order to be able to see it through. So we're really honestly just making holes in that top layer, if that makes sense. So getting back to Harper, the little stinker, what you want to do is you want to take this first layer, okay, you have it, great. We're going to right click on that and make a duplicate layer. That's step number one. This way we can call it the gray layer. All right, now that I have that, what I can do is I can go into image adjustments. I can do a lot of stuff in terms of turning this black and white, but for right now, I just want to take the hue and the saturation and go way down with it. I could put that at any level, but it's better to just have all black and white at this point. Now what I can do is I can keep this top layer, that gray layer, highlighted while I hit layer mask. And then I'm going to have that. Okay, I'm going to Control Z that to show you another way. So I have this, right? If I go up into layer and then go down to layer mask and it says reveal all, there, boom. Once again, I have that layer mask on that layer. And now if I click onto a brush, anywhere where I go, okay, that, if you see, is going to show up on your layer mask. All right, I'm going to Control Z that because that looks awful. But let's say that I want to get Harper and her little adorable face kind of highlighted so that you can see Harper and not really, and maybe her swimmies and not the rest of it. So I'm going to actually like zoom in a little bit and show you what I can do. Now, first thing I want to show you is this color here. Black on top, white in the background. That is very important to note. If I'm going to just increase the size of this so that I can get a lot covered in a small amount of time. So as I start painting her face up, look at how tan she is. So I can kind of get her hair and kind of like work this in. And you see how that blob is starting to come about. I can get all of this goodness in and just start, working with that. I can do this a number of ways. This one is one that I find is pretty easy for kids, and it's also pretty fun. The only hitch is that what you have to do is go into your edges. Like, let's say that I go off of this for a minute, which it's hard to tell because the sand doesn't really have a whole lot of color to it. But I want you to notice what happens when I hit the X on my keyboard. It turns to white, right? Well, theoretically speaking, ideally speaking, not happening now for some reason or another. When that hits white, generally it probably will happen on your computer. I don't know why it's not happening on mine. But when it hits white, you can switch and that can actually cover up what you screwed up. Okay. So I'm going to just keep on keeping on. And what I'm noticing is if I'm really careful, I can actually get a great bit covered with this very large brush. But what if I want a smaller brush around like her hair and stuff like that? You know, all of this stuff, like that's way too big to kind of work through. So what I can do is I can take that brush size and smaller it down, and then I can go in and I can work into her hair in kind of like a nice little way. And, you know, if you're related to me, you probably have curly hair. So there's that. Now, this here is kind of, you know, this mistake is it's not her hair, it's a little bit of the background. Probably when we zoom out, we won't notice that. However, if you're really picky, that once again is where you can take and switch your colors up and then go in and hopefully, you know, it will work for you. It will on the in the tutorial it did. So I just have to look through some things and kind of work with it. So you can see how I'm doing that, and it's really that simple and that easy, and you can create some fun stuff with it. So I hope you liked this tutorial, and I will shall catch you on the flip side. All right.